Hey everybody. Negative keywords in Google Ads campaigns, they are really one of the best things that you can do to save money, or one of the worst things that you can do to waste money. Getting better performance, getting ROI really has a big impact as a result of what you're doing with your negative keywords. And when I see other campaigns, sometimes I am pretty surprised at how many people that are not using negative keywords like they should. I mean, pretty big amount. And I call negative keywords my best friend sometimes because they really allow me to run tighter, better, more profitable campaigns than my competitors do, who I know they're not really paying close attention to them. So in this video, I'm going to show you the different types of negative keywords Google Ads has and how to use the match types, the symbols, and how they work. Hey everyone, I'm Richard Cruz. My agency tests and develops cutting edge Google Ads strategy every day. And the things that we learn in our campaigns in our agency that we're using, we turn around and we put them into these videos, giving you the latest tips and instructions and things that are going to be able to help you. So if you want to get alerted of new tips and strategies as they're coming out fresh off the press, hit that subscribe button, and then that way you'll be alerted. So talking about negative keywords, you'll never see your optimum ROI in Google Ads until you've really spent time dialing in your negative keyword match types. If you're looking to improve performance in a campaign, you're going to find an abundance of opportunity by using the right match types for the right situations. So knowing what to do and to use as far as a match type and knowing what not to do, both are just as important. And so you want to make sure that you're really planning and executing your targeting correctly. You can set up your negative keywords here in three different areas. You can set them up in the account level. You can set them up here in the campaign level, or you can set them up in the ad group level. The simplest of all of them to do is just by taking and managing all of your negatives at the account level, just pushing them up here. If your ad groups are all really in the same genre and they're going to be related to the account level, move them up there and then manage them at that level. You'll find it so much easier to have something not get by you. But however, we sometimes manage them at the ad group level in certain campaigns that require that, but we know that it requires a much, much closer eye that we have to keep on it. Your negative keywords are not going to carry over to the singular and plural versions of the same words. They're considered completely different words by Google. So if you use, say, for example, a broad, negative keyword for the term camera, for example, if you put in camera, they put in camera, it's going to go ahead and not run. But if they search cameras, the plural version of the same word, that will run. So make sure that you're keeping an eye on both of them. In your display and video negatives, they both work differently from your search. You have to have a limit of 5,000 negative keywords, on your display and on your video. So some places where your ads appear on display and search, might sometimes contain terms that are excluded. So make sure that you're really, really thorough and use a site category options and use content exclusions. And so by combining those there, that way you make sure that your ads are reaching the right audiences. The types of negative keywords that you can use are broad, exact, and phrase. Now, the broad batch modifier that is on the positive side does not carry over here. So just these three right here are the ones that are going to be eligible to be used in the negatives as far as the keywords that, are concerned. So, this is where the biggest mistakes that I see are the negative keyword match types. They work differently than they do when they are used in the positive. And the biggest difference is that you have to make sure that you're adding synonyms, singular or plural versions, and also the misspellings don't carry over. So you need to make sure that you're really watching out for those and including those as well too. And then any other close variations that you want to make sure that you want to make sure that you're excluding those. So if you don't, you'll have variants of what you're trying to block still running, and it's just going to burn a lot of budget. Another thing here too is your negative broad match. So your negative keywords in Google Ads, they're going to default to broad match here. So this is your standard if you don't do anything else to modify further. So your ad, for example, won't show if the search contains all your negative keyword terms. So if they're in different orders, still is not going to matter. Your ad might show up if the search term contains only some of the keyword terms. So in this example here, we have blue tennis shoes. So if you got running shoes is broad, right? So blue tennis shoes, by you going broad, Google can translate that into a similar term. And so they'll run, running shoe, it's going to run. But blue running shoes, when you negative that out, that's not going to run. Shoes running is not going to run. Running shoes is not going to run. The next example is going to be your negative phrase match. So in your negative phrase match, when you use that, your ad is not going to show up if the search contains the exact keywords terms in the same order. So the search can still include other words, but the ad won't show as long as all the terms are included in the search in the same order. So in this case here is running shoes. That's the big key differentiator that they're looking for. So that search might also include extra characters that they're added to a word, and then the ad's going to show even when the rest of the keyword terms are included in the search in the same order. So for running shoes, for example, when would the ad show? So for blue tennis shoes, bam, that will show. For running shoe, it will show. For shoes running, blue running shoes, even though this is really a misspelling right here, it's going to show. But for blue running shoes and then running shoes, it is not going to show. So what you've done is you've taken the exact phrase. The phrase is right there, running shoes, and so it blocked it, running shoes, and it blocked it. But all of these here, even though it's singular, it's going to go ahead and it's going to still run on those there. So on all of them, you really, really need to make sure that you're paying attention to them. And next up brings us over to the exact match. When you're using negative exact match, your ad's not going to appear if the search contains the exact keyword in the same order without any additional words. Now, it can still show if the search contains the keyword terms with additional words. So let's say, for example, here, you have running shoes as your exact match. So in this case, they put in running shoes, exact is exact. So even though, obviously blue tennis shoes is not exact, running shoe is not exact, blue running shoes, shoes running, none of those variations when you're using the negative exact match are going to go ahead and block that one there. Okay. The symbols in negative keywords that you can use. So when you add these negative keywords, Google allows you to use these symbols as well too. And then they're the ampersands, the accent marks, and then the asterisks. So now, for example, when you have, say, paint and body, let's say it's a automotive body shop. So paint and body is a different negative than paint and body. And so you need to make sure that you're including both of those or excluding both of those because they won't run. So they allow this, but you've got to be able to make sure that you are hitting it from both ends. A period does not matter. So one way or another, it's just going to go ahead and be completely disregarded by Google. And so pluses also are completely disregarded by Google. So if you do use pluses in your negative keywords, they're going to ignore them. And so remember that this is the complete opposite of broad match modifiers on the positive side. So I've seen many campaigns with people trying to use broad match modifier negatives without realizing that they're not allowed in the negatives. And so symbols are also disregarded. So don't worry about having to go in there and deal with all of the symbols. They're just going to be completely disregarded as well too. So, as a wrap up, guys, negative keywords in Google Ads are an opportunity for you to really save money and get so much better results, better ROI. Google Ads negative keywords, they're your best friend. And I want you to look at them as money makers for you because they really are. Keep an eye on them. Keep a close eye on your campaigns. Keep up with your match types. Keep them in mind when setting up your negatives and watch your campaigns on the negative side as well as the positive side so you get a better overall performance. And that is my overview on how to add negative keywords in Google Ads accounts. I hope that you've learned at least one thing in this video today. And if you did, leave that one thing in the comments below. And if I can be of help in your marketing, call me or message me at wsiprioritymedia.net. And don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, share it, and subscribe so that you're alerted of future training videos like this. Have an awesome day, and thank you for watching.